Swept the dirt path he once walked every single morning for 5 years. August 15th, 1947. The flag rose, the anthem played, people wept in the streets, and she stood in silence in her finest cotton sari, watching history unfold. Welcome to Omar's Story Nook, where history gets spicy, legends get a remix, and imagination runs wild. Every tale you hear is a whisper of Omar, echoing across time, culture, and the soul. India was rising, chains were breaking, and every heart beat louder for freedom. But in the shadows of the struggle, two hearts found something more: a quiet love, hidden behind the roar of revolution. This is the story of two freedom fighters, their devotion to Gandhi, their dream of a free India, and the love they almost dared to choose. She was a school teacher from Gujarat, with chalk-stained saris and a fire in her voice when she recited the poetry of Tagore. He was a printer from West Bengal, inking Gandhi's messages into handbills that traveled faster than the trains. They met at a salt march protest near Surat. When the lathis rained down, they didn't speak. They simply held eye contact across a blur of swinging batons. Later, they found themselves in the same holding cell, shoulder to shoulder. Yet silent, she tore her chapati in half and placed the larger piece on his palm. That was how their story began. Not in declarations, but in gestures, in sacrifice, in the shared hunger of hope. Both were drawn to Gandhi's dream of satyagraha, non-violent truth force. But truth, they'd learn, sometimes means denying even the heart's own desires. In the ashram outside Wada, they were assigned to different duties. She taught young girls to read. He ran the print press in a tin roof shed smelling of ink and sandalwood. Each morning, they'd meet in the prayer circle, their gazes touching across the space between men and women. They never touched hands, never shared more than a smile. But when she opened her lesson book, she found poems, handwritten in the margins, verses about banyan roots and monsoon skies, each signed only with a spinning wheel sketch. She recognized his script and wrote responses tucked into the lining of his ink bottle crate. Their love became its own rebellion against silence, against fear, against the British, who never suspected that within the heart of their enemy's movement was something tender, sacred, and growing. But their love was quiet because the movement was loud, and India's freedom needed their full hearts. So they gave it, and gave each other, just enough to keep believing. Then came 1942, the Quit India movement. The crackdowns turned brutal, ashrams raided, teachers jailed, presses smashed. He came to her one night beneath the neem tree, whispers buried beneath the monsoon's growl. "I'm leaving," he said. "Going underground. They've marked me." She touched the edge of his shawl. "You'll die out there?" He laughed. "We might die anywhere." He asked her to come, to run, to vanish with him into the belly of resistance. But she shook her head. "My classroom is also a battlefield," she said. "I fight with alphabets and slates." Their first and only touch. His fingers grazed her cheek and she leaned in, but didn't kiss him. Instead, she whispered, "Come back when India is free." He vanished the next day, and she swept the dirt path he once walked every single morning for 5 years. August 15th, 1947. The flag rose, the anthem played, people wept in the streets, and she stood in silence in her finest cotton sari, watching history unfold. Someone tapped her shoulder. She turned, and there he was, thinner, eyes sunken from hiding, but alive and smiling. In his hand, her old lesson book. Inside it, her poem. They didn't kiss, didn't cry, just held hands and watched their country become a nation. They never married, never lived together, but side by side they built schools, printed books, taught truth, and raised a generation to believe love could be quiet and still change everything. Because not every revolution needs a rifle. Sometimes it just needs a chapati, a poem, and a promise. Until the next whispers of Omar, stay listening. Indian independence, the secret love of Gandhi's followers, devotion, duty, and a silent bond.